Good evening, everyone, and happy Thursday. I'm student meteorologist Ariana Whittick here. So let's kick off the show with a live look at Doak Campbell. And right now, across the stadium, you see beautiful sunny skies, not a cloud out there. Temperatures right now, though, are about 87 degrees, and you have a light wind coming out of the north at 7 miles per hour. And those nice temperatures are going to continue around the Big Bend region, mostly in the 80s, but barely even getting into the 80s along the coast here. Barely just those lower 80s today, so nice, a little bit cooler down there, but dry air overall for the rest of the region. In terms of the radar, you can see no rain is showing up on the map. That is why we are getting those beautiful sunny skies, and a lot of that is due to some drier air that has moved into the region. So as these dry conditions persist in Tallahassee, it's leading to a possible fire risk for our area. The wettest state right now is New Mexico, and we are going to be tracking the tropics for any new developments. All this and more on FSU Weather.
Good evening and welcome back into this Thursday edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Winnie Martinez, and like you, I've enjoyed this near perfect weather. It is the first full week in October, and we've seen some cooler mornings with a steady warm up throughout the day, and I just feel like it is the perfect time to get out and be active and enjoy a picnic, maybe on Landis Green or at Cascades, and maybe even light a bonfire. But actually I would say not to do that, because with this increased dry air that we're seeing in these warmer temperatures, we're also seeing an increase in fire weather. So if you are tempted to do a bonfire outside, I would say today is not the day, or this week is not the time to do that, because again, we are seeing that increased fire weather. But there are plenty of other activities, of course, that you can do while outside with this perfect fall weather. Maybe study outside, maybe even go to the pool. But again, try to avoid any fire-like activity, because we are seeing that increased fire danger in the area. But for the week ahead, we will see a steady warm up. We have that high pressure at the surface really warming us up throughout the week and near the weekend, and we will see an increase in our wind speeds as well, and we will see possibly some windier conditions in the area, maybe bringing us some cooler temperatures, but we'll have more on that throughout the show. But again, I've had a great day. I learned about rotating reference frames and dynamics. I had an amazing day in the rest of my classes as well. Now I have a quiz coming up tomorrow, so I'm going to study for that tonight. But again, it has been nearly perfect, and I really enjoy this time of year, and I hope you do too. But now I'm going to pass it off to Nico.
Thank you, Wanique. So here's our live look at Doak Campbell Stadium we have every night. It's sunny. There's no clouds in the sky tonight. It's a really, really nice evening to be outside and about. It's going to stay that way for a few days, but it might change next week, which we'll talk about later in the show. It's currently 87 degrees, but it is not a hot 87 because it's dry out. So instead of it being 87 with the heat index in the hundreds, it's 87 and actually feels like only in the upper 80s right now. Today's high temperature was 87, which is only a couple degrees above average, but as you see, your low is 50. It was almost in the 40s this morning. When the high temperature and the low temperature are farther away from each other, that typically means it is drier outside and less humid. So our low ends up being a lot lower than our normal low, 63, but not quite down to 44, which was our record in 1979. It's currently 87 in Tallahassee. It's in the 80s area-wide right now. 88's our hot spot right now in Madison. Our cool spot is our normal cool spot in Apalachicola, where you have the sea breeze effect. And our heat index, in fact, we actually have a little bit of a wind chill right now. There's not much wind outside, but when it's so dry, a little bit of a breeze is going to make you have a little bit of a wind chill. It feels like 84. That's why it feels so nice out today, even though it is hot. And to look at your current dew points, you're in the 30s and 38-degree dew point in Donaldsonville. That's very dry air. You have to get south of the sea breeze, and then you get a little bit of humid air, but it's not anything like we normally have at this time of the year. And here's your drought monitor. This is the concern with all the dry weather. Out in Oklahoma, it looks a lot worse, but you're starting to see it creep into Tallahassee. We need the rain very soon here. We have not had rain in Tallahassee since, I think, September 12th. It's been a little bit of time since we've had rain, and we definitely need it. We could get some at the end of next week. That'll be something that hopefully we can get. And as you look in, Leon County is in the light drought, mild drought. We are starting to get a little bit of dry ground here. Now look at your current local radar. This is a problem for the drought monitor I was just talking about. We don't have a drop of rain anywhere near us right now. The closest rain is way out south of Houston, Texas, and down by Miami and in the Bahamas. So it's very dry area-wide. You don't see any rain at all in Tallahassee's local radar. You don't see the sea breeze either, but it's coming into Leon County right about now. But tonight it's going to be 56 degrees and it's clear skies. If you live right along the coast, you'll be in the low 60s. If you live anywhere else, it's going to be in the 50s because you won't have the warm Gulf of air influencing your temperature. And look at your future radar. You got some clouds coming in tomorrow, but that's about it. It's just going to stay sunny other than that. But look at your week ahead. Sunny, 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 and warm. Here's where we need to watch. It's Thursday when we could have a strong cold front come through with showers and thunderstorms. But now I'm going to pass things off to Ariana.
That is right, and we're going to see that those sunny conditions persist all throughout Florida right now. But with that, those drier conditions, especially across the northern half of Florida, we are increasing our risk for drought. But as we take a live look around the state, similar to one another, all showing some sunny skies living up to Florida's nickname, shall we say, the Sunshine State. So really, all that is a little bit due to this drier air, so it's keeping all the moisture in the clouds really not in our area. So we're seeing nice sunny skies over the next couple days, especially for the northern half of Florida. And as we look at the satellite and radar, it is translating sunny skies, pretty much cloudless throughout the whole entire Florida region. So it's really great news, especially if you do like to get outdoors. Where we are seeing that rain, though, is in the southern half of Florida down near Miami, just because they do have a stationary front that is over the area. So it's bringing a few drops of rain here and there. But working our way a little bit north, especially into the Orlando area, not really anything showing up on the radar, so that's why we're getting some of those sunnier skies. And across the panhandle, we're seeing beautiful sunny skies. It's just like a copy and paste over and over across the Sunshine State this week. Now in terms of temperatures, we're staying in the 80s for most of the area, a little bit warmer in the northern half of the state, but it is all a little bit drier air, so it's more comfortable, those 80-degree temperatures. And as we take a look at our dew points, you can see our dew point in Tallahassee is 46 degrees. So that is more indicative of like a wintertime dew point, but it's making those outside temperatures feel a lot more comfortable. I personally love it a little bit more when it is less humid. In terms of our future radar, though, we can see we're going to have a few clouds work into the area, a little bit of rain down near Miami, but overall, these beautiful outdoor conditions are going to persist. And as we look at our 72-hour rainfall, the target for rain is in South Florida, and we're possibly going to see about an inch to an inch and a half, so not really much in terms of rainfall. For Miami, though, we can see those sunny skies are going to last us through Saturday before we're going to have to break out our raincoats and umbrellas with a 70% chance of rain on Sunday. Moving on up to Tampa, sunny skies and temperatures in the upper 80s. Now, I'm going to Orlando this weekend, so it's going to be a perfect time to go outdoors, sunny skies, temperatures nice in the 80s. And then Jacksonville, we're going to see those sunny skies once again and temperatures in the 80s. Moving on over to Pensacola, though, copy and paste again. Sunny skies, a low chance for rain, but temperatures are going to feel quite nice, especially when that cold front moves in on Sunday. So how about that for the southeast? Is it going to look like that, Caitlin?
The southeast right now is looking a lot like Florida. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of weather makers, which is kind of boring for us meteorologists, but for you guys at home, the weather has just been beautiful outside. I think I was walking around campus today and everybody was out and about doing their homework outside. It was just kind of lovely, and I saw a lot of hammocks out on Landis Green. But for just the southeast, Tampa, Florida has some pretty clouds, but we're looking really dry at all of our other cameras right now, sitting in the upper 70s to low 80s, so very wonderful conditions out there. And we have been mentioning that we are in a drought here in Tallahassee, and our water vapor map shows that we don't have a lot going on in our upper level water vapor. We've got very, very dry air, and I think we can feel that as we're walking around campus today. We don't have that typical Florida humidity, but we have more of those like western dry spells and dry feels out there. In our radar, we've shown this kind of all show. It's very dry out there. Not a lot going on in terms of rain. There's a couple showers down in South Florida, Miami, but the whole southeast right now is looking very pleasant with the no rain chances and lots of dry air. And as we zoom in a little closer to Florida, we can see those little bit of rain showers, nothing too crazy. I think that they were forecasting was like maybe half an inch of rain, so nothing too worrisome for those people down in Miami. Our current conditions is looking pretty warm. We have the sunshine and a lot of dry conditions that allows our temperatures to rise. And so Shreveport's looking the highest at 90 degrees, but we do have about low to upper 80s throughout the whole southeast right now. And sunshine, lots and lots of sunshine. Dew points showing those dry conditions again. Dew point is kind of where if the dew point's really low and the temperature's really high, you have dry conditions, but if your dew point's close to your temperature, then you have really humid conditions, and that's usually what we see here in Florida. But right now, our dew points are sitting at 46. We saw our temperatures were in the 80s, so we've got those dry conditions. And we are in a drought. I think we talked about that recently, but we are in a drought right now, or in a drought monitor. We're pretty moderate, I think, and we're almost kind of cutting severe. So that's something to look out for. We are going to talk about that later when we talk about fire weather, but it's abnormal for our area to be in these dry conditions, so we do need to understand what to do with dry conditions like don't smoke cigarettes. We'll just talk about that later. And then looking at our 48-hour radar, we just showed that no rain is coming still. We have a little bit of cloud cover, which will be nice with the sun beating down if we are doing our homework outside, but no rain looking into the next 48 hours. And rainfall forecast showing nothing. There's that little bit, like I said, that little half inch maybe in Miami, but once again, very, very dry. And then for tonight in the southeast, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-50s. Some areas like Louisiana is going to be in the mid-60s. It's going to be very nice outside. I would recommend for all you people who love the cold fall weather to get out and about tonight and into the weekend. And looking at tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be a similar story to today. We're going to have temperatures in the 80s and lots and lots of sunshine.
Thank you, Caitlin. I was waiting for my graphics to pop up. All right, there we go. So one thing we're going to talk about is Arctic front in the north. You got a freeze warning here. This isn't going to happen in Tallahassee for a while, but it's that time of the year where you do start to get these freeze and frost advisories up in the north. You have a freeze watch here, and this is for Saturday morning, it looks like, because you had a strong cold front come through the Midwest today, which you can see where it is now. It's about from a line from about Alpena, Michigan, down to about the Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska tri-state area. And anywhere north and west of this line, you're getting really cold weather right now. And here's some really chilly rain in South Dakota. And if you see a little bit in here, it looked like, I'll look at it again, but it looks like there's some ice mixing in these higher elevations here. So that's definitely something to watch if you're driving in that area. You can see where the front is based on where the temperature highlight is. And you're going from, it's 81 in Kansas City, and you go up to Pierre, South Dakota, it's 42 degrees. That's not far off from freezing, and it's daytime there, so it's going to get really chilly. And your feels-like temperatures ranging south of the front, you're at an 80-degree feel-like temperature in Kansas City. North of the front, Pierre, South Dakota is your cold spot here too. It feels like 37 degrees right now. And here's your future radar. You've got some rain on Lake Michigan, rain along the front. There's the low pressure bringing the cold front. And as you get into the weekend, this cold front will even go through the northeast. So even the northeast is going to end up getting chilly weather, first taste of fall air and even winter-like air. Your lows tonight, it's 28 degrees in Bismarck. You're south of the front, you're going to be 51 in Kansas City. And if you look in Cleveland, Ohio, 55. So this is a very strong front. You can tell exactly where it is. And then look at Saturday morning. Saturday morning, it's in the 30s in the entire Midwest. If you're anywhere in this blue area, it's going to be cold, so bundle up if you're going to be going outside. This cold area gets all the way even down into the Tennessee and Kentucky Appalachian Mountains. So this is the entire Midwest pretty much. And here's your feels-like temperatures. It is very chilly, and this is definitely going to be chilly weather for you. Now I'm going to pass things off to the desk I'm going to pass things off to Juanique.
Thank you, Nico. We are going to take a look at the tropics. We have a good bit of activity going on, and we still have one more month left in hurricane season, but despite only 1 month being left in the season, we are still heating up. So we have a couple of disturbances that we are watching right now in the Atlantic. We have this low pressure system right now off of the coast of Africa, and we are also tracking this disturbance near the near Central America to the Caribbean, and that is potential tropical cyclone 12, and that is actually now a tropical depression. It has lessened since we last started tracking the storm, and it will really push off towards the Atlantic and turn into a fish storm. So we are not expecting any immediate threats for this storm, but we are currently watching potential tropical cyclone 13 right now. This is really affecting the Central America area right now, and it's near Caracas. So you see it has a good bit of development and has really organized itself. And you can see right here on our visible satellite that it has a good bit of that counterclockwise spin, and it has all of the ingredients needed to really strengthen and move towards land. Now, if you look at our upper level water vapor, you can see these deep colors right here show this heavy rain activity. So we have that shower and storm activity right now in that storm. And if we look at this spaghetti plot, we have different models projecting the storm to really push westward, but it all looks like it's going to hit near San Salvador. So it is potentially going to make landfall in the next coming days. Now we have a few active alerts due to this potential tropical cyclone 13. We have a tropical storm warning right here to the north of Central America, and we have a couple of active alerts. We have 2 active hurricane watches right now that expire on Friday. We have one on the Providence Islands and the San Andreas Islands as well. So we will keep you updated as this progresses, because the storm has all the fuel needed to really gain momentum and gain traction to become a tropical cyclone. And you can see right here these deep red and magenta colors. That's those sea surface temperatures. Tropical disturbances only need temperatures at 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and these deep red colors allude to the fact that these temperatures are well above that. So it has that fuel needed to develop and really push off and to make landfall. So again, we will keep you updated, and if you look on that future radar, look at that counterclockwise spin. It's almost textbook. As it moves towards the west, it's expected to make landfall in San Salvador, and you can see we're going to expect moderate rainfall from this system. So with that rainfall from those outer bands and of course the eye of that system, we're going to see increased rainfall over Central America, and even towards the western part of South America, we're going to see more than a few inches of rain through this storm, and we could potentially see this turn into Julia if it gains more momentum, because as you know, we had Ian as our last storm. But as we near the end of hurricane season, it is always important to stay weather aware and make sure you are prepared for hurricane season. So the first tip that we have for you is to make sure you assemble and replenish your disaster supplies, and that includes fresh water, bottled water for you and your pets, and make sure you also prepare your home and get insurance checkups for this hurricane season. But now I'm going to pass it off to the desk.
And welcome back. And while we were talking about the wet weather that the tropics are bringing, we're actually talking about drier weather here in Tallahassee.
Yeah, I've been noticing as I've been walking around campus, the air is just not typical for Florida. It feels very dry. My lips are kind of chapped too. It's just not great.
Yeah, I know. It is bringing some sunnier skies though, but it's a trade-off for like the fire weather that we could possibly be seeing.
And those afternoon thunderstorms we were having at the beginning of the semester, those kind of got annoying. So you really have to like pick your poison in this area.
No, yes. And with that, we are actually moving into a drought in our area, because we have seen such little rainfall over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. I've been noticing like even the flowers, there's some flowers they planted around the student union. They're not even looking as healthy as they were a couple weeks ago. No. They're kind of dying. They need a little bit of water, I think.
No, yes. And that is all due to some of those drier dew points. So we're not seeing that moisture in the air. So it's really not allowing for some rain to work into our area. But you can see that drought monitor, and it's been a while, I think, since the Tallahassee region and even the Florida Panhandle has been in the drought.
Yeah. I don't remember, I'm doing this show for a couple weeks now. I started a little bit last year. We've never had a drought monitor graphic for me doing this show, so this is very abnormal for me.
No, yeah, it really is, and it's kind of ironic because in the Southwest right now they're actually getting some rain.
They are getting, in New Mexico, right?
Yes.
Like where it's getting the most rain.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very abnormal.
Yeah, but right now it's all because of this low relative humidity. You see 24% in Tallahassee.
That's insane. I don't ever see it like below 50. It's very rare.
And just for some reminders, because we are seeing this drought and haven't seen one in a while, don't burn anything outside, like do fireworks, have a campfire. I know it's a little bit cooler, but.
Yeah. And I mentioned the cigarettes in my other graphics, but don't discard your cigarettes carelessly. Like you don't want to put them on dry grass. Like that just really wouldn't be smart with the conditions that we have right now.
You're right. And definitely don't drive your vehicles on dry grass because it just makes them more prone to catching on fire if anything bad were to happen that way.
I actually didn't know that fact, so that's actually kind of interesting to hear. I never heard anyone tell me to keep off dry grass with my vehicle. But
Yeah, I've never heard that fact until today, actually.
But that's really good to know.
No, yeah, and ironically, like I was talking about, the Southwest is seeing some rain, and you know that's kind of unheard of to talk about.
Very
so
weird.
we're gonna pass it on over to the wall to talk about the rainy weather in the Southwest.
Thank you, ladies. As you mentioned, the Southwest is typically dry this time of year, but we are seeing an increased pocket of rain really over this area. So if you see right here, we have a rainfall over the Albuquerque, New Mexico area, and we also have rain over the Arizona area as well. So these pockets of rain are really just marching inward, and we can see that they will really stay soggy for the next foreseeable couple of days because these storms will just make their way northward towards the I would say the 25 and the I-10 corridor. These rain chances will continue to increase as the days progress, and if we head northward towards Albuquerque, those rain showers will just make their way northward and continue to stay with the region. Now, when we look at this drought monitor, we typically see these deep red colors over this area. When you see that deep red color, that means that they are in dire need of rain, and this area right now has that yellow orangey color, so that means that they are in a moderate risk for drought. So this rain is really helping these typical drought-like conditions that we see in New Mexico. And if you look at our storm prediction outlook for our current day, we have these areas right here in a non-severe risk, so they could potentially see some isolated thunderstorms throughout the area, and with those isolated thunderstorms comes the risk of flood potentials for these areas as well. So if you have family or friends in this area, be sure to keep them aware of these conditions. If they're driving, they could see localized flash flooding, and it will be more or less the same for tomorrow as well. They will see a potential for a risk in thunderstorms and flood potential as well. You can see right here near Santa Rosa, Truth and Consequences, and that is a real name. And then you can also see right here in St. Teresa, they will potentially see flood waters in this area. Now, if we look at our 48-hour rainfall, we'll see that those rain chances will somewhat dissipate, but they will return, bringing that increased cloud cover, and again, they will have that relief for the next foreseeable future. Now, if we look at our rainfall forecast here, we are going to see a bit of rainfall for this area near the northern part of Texas and New Mexico. They could potentially see 1 to 2.5 inches of rain over the next 48 hours. Now, if we look at our satellite and radar, we see that the rain chances will continue, but we will really keep an eye on that and keep you updated as the show progresses. But now I'm going to pass it off to our next segment.
Yeah, that's right. And we are going to be talking about the lifestyle, and I'm very excited to be talking about the lifestyle because while there isn't much going on around Tallahassee this weekend, there are a lot of sporting events. But as we look across Tallahassee, we are seeing those beautiful sunny skies. So moving away from that rainy weather in the Southwest right now. And if you are traveling, it is a great day to travel. Get out into the airport, take a flight somewhere, maybe fly to Orlando for some Halloween Horror Nights. But no delays in Tallahassee nor across the country right now. Beautiful sunny skies in all those major airports. And if you are headed to College Town tonight, you can see we might need a little bit of a jacket as we're going to dip down into the 60s, low 60s. I know I'm from Florida and I don't really love the cold weather, but it is a nice change from all the summertime heat. Now, our women's soccer team is taking on Virginia in Charlottesville, so it is going to be a bit cooler as you travel north with temperatures at the game's end at about 57 degrees. In terms of Thursday night football, though, it actually is pretty similar to temperatures here. By the game's end, it's going to be 59 degrees, and they're playing in Denver, Colorado, so little comparison there. For cross country, though, it is going to be at 7:40 in the morning, so maybe a light jacket if you are headed out to see the runners for FSU. By noon, though, temperatures are going to be about to low to mid 80s. In terms of tennis, though, we can expect great conditions for the tennis matches for this coming weekend. And if you are wanting to go to the res, maybe go out on a paddleboard, you can see temperatures are going to get pretty close to 90 degrees tomorrow, so great day to head out onto the water. And then as you look at our volleyball forecast for tomorrow, it's going to be a great day to go see our women's volleyball team with temperatures ending at about 68 degrees by 10 p.m. And you have a last look at our 3-day forecast with sunny skies. So we're going to pass it off to Caitlin for one last look at our local.
Thank you so much, Ariane. You brought up a lot of good plans that we could do this weekend. Like, I don't know, my weekend's kind of free, so I'm kind of excited to try it. Maybe I'll go paddleboarding at the res, I don't know. But looking at Doak right now, it's just beautiful, clear skies out there. Temperature is 87 degrees, so we are feeling that warm weather. For those who are kind of sad that the colder weather is coming, we do have those afternoon temperatures that bring some heat. And looking at our current temperatures over the area, like I said, we've got warm temperatures right now, 87 in Tallahassee. We're looking at low 80s in some parts of the Big Bend, but we're all kind of just in the 80s right now. Those temperatures are planning to decrease as we're going into the night. And our current local radar is showing those dry conditions. No rain in the future, at least for this weekend. We don't see a lot of rain coming into our area. And that's what this future radar is going to show. Tonight and into tomorrow, we have a couple clouds, but really sunshine, dry air. Not a lot of moisture. It's going to be really lovely out there with the rain, with the sunshine. Tonight in Tallahassee, it's 54 degrees, so it's going to be very chilly for our friends who like the colder weather. Maybe this 87 is too hot for them. And our wind is going to be really calm, so we don't have to worry about that wind chill. We're going to have a light breeze, 54 degrees. It's going to be very nice. And looking at your week ahead, like we've said, no rain in the foreseeable future. We've got 0% chance over this weekend. We're going to be looking at the upper 80s for our highs, upper 50s for our lows, so kind of a good mix of both people who like the cold and the hot weather. But that's all I have for right now. We're going to pass things off to Nico at the desk.
Thank you, Caitlin. Yes, it's definitely going to be a dry week, but if you notice at the end of that 7-day forecast, you have thunderstorms coming in on Thursday. It's going to be warm. It's going to be 86 degrees that day, so it's still a week out and stuff could change, but when you get that hot, you definitely have the energy for severe weather, so that'll be something to keep an eye on and see if the dynamics of this front are going to be able to bring us severe weather. But until then, we definitely have some really nice weather this week. If it's a good week to get outside and about, just be careful if you're burning anything, because if you're burning anything, you could start a wildfire, and you don't want to be the person to start a wildfire. That would not be good, and that will spread very easily when your humidity is 24%. It's very dry. Humidity in Florida is usually way higher than 24%. That's very low for here, but October, November tend to be our driest months of the year. So it is that time of the year where when we are going to have these long dry stretches, this is the time we're going to get them. If we actually make it to next Thursday, though, it's a month without rain. But anyway, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU weather. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU weather. You can always watch us live on YouTube at youtube.com/FSU weather. And follow us on Instagram at FSU weather. If you get any good weather pictures, you can also send them to us at any of those. So that would definitely be something to send. If we get any storm pictures next Thursday, we would like those too. So that's definitely something good to send. Got the nice weather though for a week, so get out and about. Get out and about from now till Wednesday, because next Thursday does not look like a good day to get out and about. And until next Thursday though, there's not really going to be too much going on. But this is student meteorologist Nico Sapienza. Have a great evening, Tallahassee.